Hi, Nick Tockert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Folks, the Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you today by the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe, both available through Amazon. It's also made possible by my amazing Patreon members who are listed in the description below, and I list every time. Happy Friday, Cindy Cap. Okay, sorry about the delay, folks. And I'm throwing my books all over the place. Just means I need to write more. This has been an interesting day. I was checking up some things. I recently had a couple direct messages where people were asking me some interesting questions, and one of them was, "What is a sword legal in my state, or is that legal in my area?" Now, I am not a lawyer, so I will tell you: look it up on Google, find a .org site, preferably not a .com. You want to go stick to a federal site to get through. And I'm sorry if I'm a little scrambled. I did have an MRI today, and I had a mild reaction, which should surprise no one that large magnetic fields kind of get a little loopy with me. Nothing serious, nothing problematic, but it was an interesting experience, especially for someone who's claustrophobic. But let's go through the comments they're already hitting today. We've got Cindy kept saying, "Happy Friday." We have Foxy dropping in with evening, and we have Belated Thesis with stream and pizza day. I actually had pizza today because I believe if I have to go through unpleasant medical procedures, I better have something nice waiting for me at the end. So yes, I had pizza today. It's a good day for pizza. It's bloody cold out. Pardon my language, British viewers. But yes, let's see. Yes, you about fell asleep. Yeep, I noticed the world spun a bit faster when I had an MRI last time. Yeah, I actually had some interesting visual effects, and it kind of messed with my balance for a while. I'm not really sure what that means. I just know I stayed as still as possible, and when I know something, if there's something that needs to be shared, I'll be happy to share it because, I'm about supporting the guild. The other thing is I had the pleasure of running games yesterday. Um, it made you woozy? Made you, yeah, I was definitely woozy after mine. It was my first, and I have to take a bunch of, I have to drink a whole lot to flush out here, we're going to dye your brain so it's easier to read. Anyway, I'm an artist. It just means more color on my mind. But folks, yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Now, getting back to what I was saying, I had the pleasure of running games for the Benton County Public Library in Fowler, Indiana, which is always a pleasure. I love helping out libraries, and I may be doing programs there related to this channel. Now, longtime viewers and folks who know me socially know I often vend there when they do programs. In that, I put my book sales. Oh, I've had a few in my life. Mostly, it is a time to relax where no one can ask me to do anything. That's cool. I had trouble fitting in the tube, and it was actually, like I said, rather claustrophobic, and I was rather sore from my elbows being pushed into my kidneys. But I'm glad it's good for you. I really am. And it wasn't. Other than that, it wasn't stressful. And watching think of the opening of the first Doctor black and white. Yes. Hi, Johnny. Yes, I'm actually I've been requested by we'll say one of my oldest students that I ever had has shown interest again, and may appear on this channel this summer, assuming I am health-wise up to doing it and requested to teach. I've also been asked to do demonstrations of one sort or another, light historical lectures on how swords work, possibly a bit of a sparring demo. And so when those dates come out, I'll put an announcement here if that way anybody is in the central Indiana area, maybe you guys can come out and play. Well, not play, but at least see what's going on. And if not, it's all for it's for the good of the community. I do a lot for the libraries. I was a librarian officially for a couple of years, and now we're just one day at a timing. But let's see what else is coming on. Had my day a bit wonderful, wonderful. Keeping control of diabetes is a really important thing. Hi, my name is Nick, and yeah, Frog G. Thank you for stopping by. Tickle the algorithm, smash the like, dingle the bells, and subscribe. Frog G and oddly Johnny both have amazing voices. I sound like a croaking middle schooler next to them. I don't quite know how that works, but we are definitely making it go. Now, meanwhile, I am taking a second to share this because we had a bit of delay getting started. So I'm at least getting this out where it needs to be. Normally, I can schedule this and have this come out, but sometimes, folks, it just does not do what we hope it to do. So I'll do my best, get that out there to let the folks who watch my YouTube, who watch my Facebook, and watch my Twitter, give them a chance to see it. Now, if you're on Facebook and you want to talk to me, there is a group, the Historical Fencing Guild public group. You're more than welcome to join and we can talk. I don't friend a lot of people on Facebook simply because I have a lot of relatives and a lot of personal information gets conducted over that isn't there for everybody. But I am all about hit me up on Twitter at ntalker.com, at ntalker on Twitter. That's in the description. But yeah, Frog G isn't used. He's so not used to the one being poked. Yeah, Frog G. Oh wait, no. Wait a second. What is this? I have a pop-up coming on my screen, so I'm trying to keep it from being dunderheaded. Okay, it's that thing. There we go. Sorry, it was a weather warning. There's freezing fog in my area. Of course, there's freezing fog. And no, I'm still going by the braces, but I had to do my stretches, and I can do my hand stretches sort of off camera while I'm talking to you guys and multitask. But teach him where the sharp point goes. Yes, tickle the algorithm. He used to be the one top. Let's see. Quite a few years ago, we had a local author who celebrated her last book and my Shifu, and I did a small demo and they had some HEMA guys from upstate. I would love to get where I can host something. It would be a real serious dream of mine, in a post-pandemic world, to host something where I can invite SCA folks, which that's a bit of a stretch, but we can make it happen. Amp guard, strip fencers, the collegiate fencers from the universities. I'd love to see if there's a local dojo in the area that does weapons training, and then get a hold of a bunch of vendors and actually do a convention. I think it would be great. I just haven't been able to get it together, and maybe when I get through these health issues, I just might do something like that, because I would love to have an opportunity to let folks, literally a convention where they convene and they talk, have panel discussions on what works and which doesn't. Which we had done before. Yeah, there is a local playground castle very close to me. Sorry, guys, hydrating. Again, was in the machine. But yeah, and isn't that great? I love when when people can let go, have fun, and we can train. So I'm very excited about starting training. That means assuming my health recovers as it should, knock on wood. But I'll be able to get the get training videos, commentary. I've heard StreamYard has some new options that I might dabble into where I could have multiple cameras going, because I would love to be able to live stream a fencing bout and record it from multiple angles and then be able to review it later. How cool would that be, folks? So I'm working on dabbling and getting some really neat things rolling. Uh, Now, I am tragically not on Dice Dudes and Dames for the foreseeable future, but if you follow the Red Valkyrie channel on YouTube, Red Valkyrie Presents, you can follow the gamers I used to run games for every Wednesday night. I want to say they're back going 8 to 12, but I'm not sure. So be sure to follow them and please follow Syndicap, CKOEPP.com. Follow Frog G. There's the new comic out. Follow Frog G, and just keep track of Frog G, because if you want the best quality links, there are two people in the universe you need to know. You need to know Cindy Cap and you need to know Frog G, and they are both in my chat. Well, over here it's there. They show up down there for you. But yeah, Captain Dyslexia. What are we talking about this week? Well, I figured we'd go through my usual breakdowns. So let's break this down to here. And let's see. I have to do this. There we go. I think everything is groovy. Let me double check. Yeah. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty. Yeah, cool. We're where we need to be. It was a case of I couldn't see it, but you could. I want to check the deals of the day. So we can go here. And like I said, normally I do that, but I had to go through my sale. So let's see. That's a lot, guys. 300 for a sword is a whole lot. It was a good wait. One team is defenders. One team had to take the castle. I was better a defender than I was as the opposite. It should be easier to defend a facility than take it mechanically, because your defenses should work with you. I did a video some time ago talking about. Hold on. Let me just come back up here for a second. Do this and do this. Okay, there we are. I did a video talking about spiral staircases because I was at the tower at Michigan City Zoo, at Washington Park Zoo in Michigan City, Indiana. They have a tower, and it was an observation tower, pre-World War II, World War II era, and has spiral staircases. And it's really interesting because spiral staircases always spiral down in such a way that you're looking down, it's to the left, looking up, it's to the right. And they do that very deliberately, because they do that so that when you're swinging, I need a sword. Hold on. Okay. When you're swinging a sword, you have room in the curvature of the stairwell as a right-handed individual to comfortably swing a sword down. But as a right-handed individual going up the curved stairway, you have to work around the center pole, and that's why spiral staircases are always in that direction. It's a matter of medieval tactics, and it still holds to this day. So I find that fascinating, and it was a good time. It sounds like it. I love mock battles. If I could find another good site that I felt safe recording at, where we could have some decent mock battles, I would love that. Right now, my facilities are fairly limited for anything with reasonable defenses. I can't quite erect a castle gate in my backyard. Excuse me. Or can I? Anyway, I am hoping to have Well, you know what? I think that's a real problem. We used to train at a park, and we had to leave because some people thought we were some part of a paramilitary group, and there was confusion, and we just left to prevent idiocy. But yeah, you know what? If you look around, 10 years seems to be a line. Wow, yeah, 2012. A lot of things kind of seemed at peak for HEMA and for being able to do stuff. It seems like the laws have really clamped down and the attitudes have just clamped down, where between the liability concerns and just civil misunderstanding, for lack of a better term, it's a massive issue with obesity and just physical health. It's across the street from a church and they complain. Plus, it's a children's park and we didn't want to do anything there when kids. I understand. It's just there's a need for there's no way to say it where it doesn't sound wrong. Adult entertainment, and I don't mean anything sexual, like where grown-ups can go out and sword fight and not be like, oh no. It's really hard. It's difficult to do that, and I think that's something we need to keep an eye out. Do note there weren't any kids around at the time. Excellent, excellent. And more exactly. Oh no, but we live in an era where adults and children can't play because there have been so many wackadoos who've popped up. That is my ongoing question, Foxy. Why do we have to give up fun because we're older? And I think that's one of my great passions. I'm a man. I'm a little guy. I'm a little round man, actually. Um, but it is my passion to find joy, and I don't understand why maturity equals a lack of joy. And I also don't understand why things are so extreme. I should be able to teach people to sword fight reasonably. You don't have to be gung ho. I'm going to buy absolute historic perfect armor and do historic. If you want to be perfect, and on that route, more power to you. Go for it. But don't belittle the people who only want to stick their toes in. We've had people who would come to my practice. They only came for yep. Indeed, and some of the parents let them. I mean, pursuit of happiness, it's right there. Well, Tom Baker's doctor famously said, what's the point of being an adult if you can't be childish sometimes? And I have, in my youth, I had some interesting adventures. I traveled a great deal because my dad had an itchy foot, so we would roam. We'd get on great highway trips, and gas was cheap back then. So I've seen most, if not all, of the continental 48 states, which is not bad. I've been in Canada. I've seen natural wonders. I've seen not wonders. Now, what does that have to do with sword fighting, guys? What does that have to do with historical fencing guild? A matter of perspective. And that being, it can and needs to be fun. Now, that's why I don't beat on the guys who do lightsaber stuff. Is it historical? Heck no. And it gets real interesting if they're keeping to the forms, because some forms work better than others, and I do think it's excessively florid. Sword Sage and I used to spend hours at our local Denny's back in the way day talking about sword styles and how Star Wars is before at least two of these trilogies. Well, before one of the trilogies was even an idea. Oh. And you can look at it and have fun and get out and do stuff. And that's part of it. Remember, even though this is the Historical Fencing Guild, in my time, I've done a variety of swords, a variety of other melee weapons. I've done archery. I've done thrown weapons. I'm going to tell you, I love thrown weapons. if I can get my hands back to being reliable, I would love to get my range back up and just chuck knives. I miss chucking knives. Chucking knives is one of the great funs in life. Throwing axes. Throwing axes is fun. Can it be dangerous? Yes, if you're stupid or you don't pay attention. I mean, gyms are expensive, but swinging fake swords at your friends is free and fun. Exactly, and learning it shouldn't have to be expensive. That's my thing. People go out and they want to LARP. Cool. They want to learn how to swing a boffer better. Now, I will be doing a video fairly soon, I think, on just making basic boffers. Now, some groups have complex rules, and you always have to fit theirs. But if you're looking for just a bonehead simple, never built a boffer before, what's a boffer? I'm planning to do a video on that because that's going to be very basic. So it's something, even with my relative limitations of health and hands, I should be able to do. I'm just going to be starting on a series. I want to do a series that takes the idea of learning how to sword fight from my absolute favorite trainer, which actually is not in reach right now, and why it's my favorite trainer, and why I think everyone who does what we should do should at least have one of these. That was actually supposed to be today's show. So give me just one moment. I'm going to mute myself, talk amongst yourselves for just a All right, I have used my powers of parental summoning to put forth a request. We'll see if it's answered. Hello. Ah ha ha ha. Thank you. Don't forget to close the door on the way out. All righty. What, if you're going to get into this, what do I think? Oh, hey, thank you, Flying Feline. I appreciate you flying by to hit the like. I'm sorry you can't stay. I'm gonna have to talk to you. Remind me to message me on Twitter. I'll probably. I had something I want to talk to you about. Anyway, MRIs are fun, but anyway, we're gonna get back to what we're talking about, and this is it, folks. Yeah, enjoy your evening. This is a 36-inch. I want to say 3/4 inch wooden dowel. I bought it at Walmart for like $1. It has 2 3/4 inch chair feet, one on each end. They are not currently secured, although they should be with some type of adhesive or tape. This, in short, is a stick. This is the stick. When I think of when I'm training somebody and they say, I can't afford to start, and I just dropped a bunch of stuff I don't want to roll over, so I'm got to scooch it over. I say, get this. Why? Why would I say this? First off, this is a little short for Joe's staff, but it works. You can indoors do all your staff and sword drills. I'm going to flinch because my hands are a little sore, but they're functioning well enough I can talk about this. You can do spear drills, okay? Two-handed thrust, pull Q thrust, C disengages. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yes. Yes, I'm holding something brown and sticky. They're also really handy if you've forgotten your cane because you thought you were having a good day and found out you were having a bad day. Because it's less than $5 for this rig. Now, usually because these come in sets of two, these come in sets of four, obviously. I buy two of these, I make a spare, and then I end up giving it away. But it's sturdy enough for slow work. If you get excessive, you could break it. So you don't. I like this diameter. They have thicker diameters. They have 1 inch for those of us with larger hands, and you can get 1 inch table feet that are rubber top uh, rubber uh, stoppers. That's because this part can be very aggressive when you hit, you're drilling or you hit somebody, or you can scuff the floor. This makes it much safer. Now, I have an odd habit of putting marks on mine, and I want to show you where mine are. So I'm going to use my 3D printer that's arguing with me. At about one hand's width, I have a set of marks. And just with a slight space of about a pinky, I have a next hand's width. Okay? That's going to be tailored to you. This is because I want to be able to do things, and having the measure helps. This lets me know my reach. This is roughly 30 inches. So I'm operating from here to here with about I want to say 30-inch blade. See, that's a little shorter than that. Let me look at something. That might be 26. I'll have to measure that. But you get a dowel rod, you get something like this. And you can go through all the sword drills with this. It's lighter than a sword, but it's the right length. You can learn proper reach, proper control. If you have two of them, you could do slow work with light parries. If you wear face protection, groin protection, throat protection is preferred, and you go very, very slowly. You're controlled. Understanding that this is a Western martial art, all martial arts are inherently dangerous. That's the reality. Any martial art that involves physical contact with anybody else is inherently dangerous. And even Tai Chi, when you're just doing the forms, you can pull something. So consult your doctor. I'm not one. And be careful. But from here, I like this because I can train in this. I can take this to a park if I don't have my cane. And a lot of times I just do drills with my cane, or I bring this and my cane because my cane is holding me up. And I can go through all four of my linear guards, all four of my nonlinear guards. I have a heavy bag set up downstairs. I will beat the tar out of the heavy bag with one of these. I mean, I may wrap this with duct tape to protect the bag a bit, but bam, bam, bam. You could start drilling in calibration. This is very smooth, which means if your grip isn't very strong and you feel yourself slide up, when you hit with fencer calibration, you're too hard. I do teach and I do believe in drilling and drilling in the idea of very light calibration. So this is, to me, is unmatched. If anyone finds a three-quarter inch polypropylene trainer that is roughly 3 feet long, three-quarter inch diameter, and doesn't wibble, hit me up. That's sort of a golden, that's a holy grail for me, because I would love just a stick like this, or a good uh walking cane that's made of that kind of material. I've seen some, but they were all sold out and discontinued in a lot of cases by the time I've been able to get my meat hooks on one. And so you see like leftovers and they're like triple digits, and I'm not paying triple digits for something I can get a reasonable approximation for $4. But yeah, because it ends up being like 2 or 3 for the feet, and then 2, so maybe 5. Maybe you're spending $5 to have a 2-person trainer set. Oh darn! Oh, that's great. Thesis says, I told my doctor today I practice Tai Chi as exercise. He told me I'm probably the only person who says that, but he wishes more did. I love Tai Chi. My problem is it's very hard for me to do standard Tai Chi. I haven't studied my forms in a long, long time because as I learned it enough to integrate it to a set of motions that it melded with my approach to the simple sword defensing, and that's how I do as close to forms as I get. And a lot of it is I go through my drills. First, I go through all my drills. So, let's just say 5 or 10. It doesn't take a lot to start from each position. First, second, third, fourth. Hard with this cable here. Going offline, which again, from my current position, it's hard. And you'll notice my hand's a little weak. So I can instantly pivot and use my support hand. This is doing the job. This is telling me where it needs to go. Oh, yes. Break out the Yang Simplified 24. That is a great system. That's what I used to do. And I'm just right now, so much of how I move hitches that standard styles aren't fitting. So that's why I have to work on what I do. And to the people who say, well, you're not studying a real style, how do you think? Go look up how jiu-jitsu happened. Go on. Look it up. I'm not going to tell you. I want you to look it up. Go look up the evolution of judo. Go look up a lot of styles and their origin. We have gotten, you know what? I feel a soapbox coming on. I hope you all don't mind. But we have gotten to the point where martial arts, the dogma is deified over the process, let alone the effect. We must wear a gi and do this style. It is the only one. Bull! I'm sorry, but bull. Certain styles work better for certain mentalities, certain body types, and sometimes when good martial artists hang out, groovy. When martial artists hang out, you know what they do? They do stuff. Martial artists are most like singers and theater kids. No. When you have really chill martial artists, it was my favorite thing about the SCA was when you'd be at camp and you'd have people, they'd forget their rank for a while. Because when it's right, you get around that list field, especially when it's not a tournament. I had increasing dislike, bordering disdain for tourneys. I wasn't good at them. I came in second place a lot. Usually due to somebody who would just shrug blows, which is really hard to do on the fencing field, but okay. But, this is this system. This is how to do it. This is the only way to do it. Okay. Then why do the other systems exist? Because they obviously work better for somebody else. And the only way to find is cross-train with respect and discussion. And you can't respectfully crusade/jihad for your style. I'm sorry, Cindy. But, that happens to a lot of people. You guys are going to have a really neat progress. And please, I know this sounds crazy, but take notes, thesis. You have a lot of wonderful journals you've made. And the only reason I'm not currently using mine is I don't have content worthy of the container. So that's coming. But you need to take and write down write down the style as you understand it, write down notes and tweaks you've done to make it work for Foxy. Jot that down and see what that becomes, because that's literally where new martial arts come from. Some are rendered obsolete, some are bullshito, but sometimes new martial arts end up being rebirths of various. There have been, I'll get to that in a minute, but we have to keep on testing and studying, because it is as much a science as it is an art form. And there are rules. The creation and application are art, but the understanding is a science. Which is why I've worked hard to kind of codify a basic curriculum. It's in my book. Codify a basic list field, also in my book, and codify weapons and gear rules that work for me, shockingly, in my book. But that's what we want to hear and see, folks. We want to understand okay, there's a guy named Sean T. Okay, I love Sean T. I was given, of all things, one of my points, I was given by a wonderful coworker, Sean T's hip hop abs. Now, my son at the time, no, I mean, he's still my son, but at the time he loved those videos. And what you would have is you'd have Sean T, and he'd be doing these moves. Yeah, let's do the moves. It's funny. I'm channeling a tall, thin, homosexual black man. I love America. Anyway, and next to him, like, if you're not physically up to it, I'm gonna kick you over to her. Can't remember her name. That's not a shot. I'm just terrible with names. And she'd do a version that wasn't as bad. So, like, me and her were on a sync for a while. Like, I'm a fat guy doing what I can. Because I do this at work, because they frowned on me doing anything martial, when I was working with the clients overnight. That's not saying I didn't do drills and stuff. It's just saying they preferred me to do something that didn't look like sword fighting. So I look goofy, but with something to do when you have to stay up midnights while your client sleeps, so that something doesn't go wrong and they don't die. So I did a lot of this. Don't be afraid to adjust and limit, because I would rather, guys, I say it all the time. I'm going to say it again. If I'm repetitive, maybe it's important. You don't, unless you are going for the gold. I'm looking at you, Al. My old buddy Al, that man, champion style material. Love that man. God, I have a doughy fist. That's okay. But you're going for the gold. I'm not going for the gold. Look at that bell curve. Whee! All those people, they don't have a shot. So if I can't win it, why do it? Because that's not my opponent. My opponent is the me, who is sitting on the couch with pizza and Halo or something like that. Go out and, I'm just trying to beat him. I'm trying to beat the me from about a year ago, who was walking on 2 crutches, trying desperately to get to the bathroom. It's been longer than that now. But I'm never going to forget that, because that was another I've been laid physically low. And that's why I'm going to the doctors. It's why I don't drink caffeine, and I have to go to sleep because I take pills that make me loopy. And I get up at early o'clock, and I get up early o'clock without any coffee. It's weird. Borderline sacrilegious with my upbringing. Let's see. But I'm lapping the me on the couch, and that's all you need to do. Yeah, I can't do little dips without ending on my rather ample butt. Now, part of it is form. Remember, we were talking about male versus female physiology. Sometimes, especially when you have something like that, the center of gravity can be different, and it can make it a lot harder. You'll notice even when they're of very similar slender builds, you compare male and female martial artists, there are slight differences in, like, even in kung fu movies, the way they move. This isn't sexual or gender typing or anything. This is physiological, okay? And if your joints are going to move differently, you adjust for your joints. Either way. So don't hesitate to that. I mean, at least there's padding here. Not touching it. Right. Excellent. If it can be changed or not, is a shallow dip is better than no dip. Okay? Now, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place this week, and that's okay. But seriously, if you have nothing else and you're looking for what's Nick's designated trainer, the stick. Now I am annoyed mildly because I've been talking about this guy for years. And only now is Shadversity really coming to grips with the glory of the stick. Only now do I hear Matt Easton at Skull Gladiatoria talking about the stick. For years I was laughed at for the humble stick. But this is the stick. This is the exact stick that this is one of my older sticks that I've used for years for basic training. I have even older ones that are riddled with little dings. That's what we worked with because that's what we had. Okay. And that makes sense. You just have to let it. But, well, okay. I'll be mad if I hear there's any shame. There is no shame in adaptation. And I've had to do that to myself. Because for years, I've had people, do you really need that cane? One, if I wanted to walk with a cane because it looks cool, I could. It's not hurting you. It's not profane or but as it is, I limp. And the cane sometimes keeps me from falling down. More often, I am less likely to fall down with my cane than I am without it. So why do you have a problem? That's right. But no, don't do that. I can't help it. Yeah, no sorries. You can't. We have too long for people who are adapting to things been treated like it's a shame. I'm sorry for making you work harder than sorry for my Chris. One, if you're passionate about what we do, if you're passionate about martial arts, working harder means you're spending more time doing something you love from a deeply analytical where you're immersed in it. Helping people is a type of immersion. Being able to bend and understand so much that you can help somebody and for the right person, for the right teacher is actually a gift. Because I'll be honest, I'm going to talk about this because I had a question. Why do you work with so many, women and people with disabilities? Oops, sorry, we missed one. Now, part of it I do it because other people can do. If you're really fit and able, and you shouldn't need somebody like me. And a lot of times I get people started, then I go, wow, you're really good. You're leaning toward this style. Back in the SCA, I would recommend specific people. Be like, go see this guy. I may not like him, I may love him or her, but your fighting style is really good and you can learn a lot from them. And if they take you on, whatever. If not, just pay attention to what they do. Find out their resources and study them yourself. Because I see myself as I'm just trying to do this. This is all I'm trying to do. Hand up. I'm trying to make connections. And if I find somebody who does what I do better than what I'm doing, I point you to them. But you guys, you gotta build yourselves up, and you can't feel bad for needing a cane. I wear glasses so that I can see. Does that make me morally deficient? I mean, I'm sure in some Nietzschean Ubermensch BS they'd say yes. But without my glasses, I'm incredibly nearsighted. I can work on very small up close things. You know? You find what's yours, you make it yours. If it's a liability, you mitigate it. If there's sometimes you find its strength you didn't know was there. Dyslexia and three-dimensional rendering. I've been reading some wonderful book. I can't remember the author's name, The Gift of Dyslexia. And it says that dyslexics think in a different fashion. It's why letters flip on the page. But they tend to be very good at picturing and mentally processing things in their head. I know one individual who that mildly dyslexic. You'd never know, but he envisions a hobby. You take a Rubik's cube and you envision one side is white, the rest are all black, and start turning it and seeing what shapes it makes. And he's like, I'm upset because when I'm really bored, when there's nothing else I can do, I play with that, and I can only usually get 5 or 6 turns before I lose it. That's what we're talking about. You find what works for you, and there's usually a hidden strength there. Sometimes it's simply strength of character. I have lost a lot of physicality, but it's taught me a type of endurance that lets me function when things are very bad. It's not pretty, but it gives perspective. It gives analysis. Let's see. I've only really trained a handful of people on my own, but I certainly do my best every time. If I can't help you, I'll certainly try and find someone who can. Exactly. And sometimes part of being a good teacher, and I've been there, I've had that exact kind of thing, is when somebody's coming to practice and they're not practicing, they're not participating, they're not learning, and they're getting mad. So that'll happen sometimes too. You have to have conversations, and sometimes people aren't ready for what you have to offer. Maybe later they will, maybe not. Oh no, be careful with yourself, Foxy. Now, I'm going to hop back off this. I want to go see what the rest of the daily deals are. So we're going to go there right now. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this. I won't be able to see the commentary as well, but that's okay. Let's see. I can't believe there's still night shop items. Ooh. Ooh. Guys, if you have the long swords, that's insane. They have 3 left. Ooh. Ooh, that's well, I'm sorry about that. I hope you feel better. Yeah, I might come. But other than those and the case, how you transport your weapons is interesting. I'm not seeing a lot of earth-shattering deals. I prefer when he has deals on his gear. Alrighty. Let's see what we have. We did deals of the day, world martial arts. I don't think there's anything else we're really looking for. for now, so I'm not going to hop on that. But and I will remind you, we are on the new 1 hour format simply so that I don't overtax myself right before I get my meds. And that's unfortunately an hour before. Ah! Jeez. Foxy, you need to be more gentle. Be situationally aware, dearie. Slow down, engage with the world around you. It's hard when your mind is as complicated and delightful a place as yours is. But uh, you know, you had me going in the first half there, Johnny. Transport them on your back, like Chad Scabbard. It would totally work in the rain and during stress. There's literally a song. There's a song. It's written by Michael Longcore, and it has the chorus. You can't draw broadsword when you're in the forest. The extra steel keeps getting in the way. And it's true. People forget, like, close quarters. Ma! You just, Johnny, I love you, man. Yeah, when you're carrying your weapons between places, you need weapons carriers. I actually used to carry my swords in a golf bag case. So wheeled, about 5 foot, 4 to 5 foot long, rolling case that opens up, and you're supposed to fit a whole golf bag in it. Many times I would just lay my fighting blades in that and call it a day. Right now it's full of live steel that needs to be cleaned up because I was trying to get stuff through the move. But yeah. So they were selling those discount hold on, let me come here. Do this. I saw the box go by, and that's actually, this is a decent box. This is a decent carrier for longsword, for well, up to 46. Now, a lot of my weapons, that gets real tight, and a lot of, because I'm a fan of cup hilts, that style box. But if you like the cross hilted weapons, that works really good. That's a really good deal. So, consider going there, but go through my affiliate link so that I get some credit for sending you that way. Plus, I'd love to get, some cash. Now, Thesis said, I wonder if I could get a hold of people at Purple Heart. If I can get some help making a Han style gin. Well, Thesis, if you go to this little help thing and you click it during working hours, it will say, how can I help you? It will bring up a notice, and you can contact Christian Dorst. You can actually open it up and message him directly and find out about it. But you're looking for Hansao. Let's see. World martial arts, Chinese culture. Let's see if I can't find something that helps. We have several. Oh, he's got that thing? Wait a second. Does he actually have those in stock, or is that... I have to look at this. Oh, my friends. See, this is what happens. Thesis. What's the price? I'm looking at $40 trainers here. Oh, I'll make sure that this is coming across okay. Yeah, that's coming across okay. So if depending on your hilt orientation, you could get a basic trainer either up or down for $40 in the black plastic. They're finally done. Oh, I've been waiting for these guys. I really think you might want to look into that. There's also a youth style one, which let's look at the sizing. 23.5-inch blade, 30 inches overall. Oh, Foxy! It's $40. Beautiful. Beautiful. I actually have, my wife has a sword very similar to this. What do Han style guards look like then? Because if it's a guard shape, I'm pretty sure he can make something, I mean, with modification, something that would work. I mean, there's also this almost, if I recall, it's almost, oh no, it's a, see, I have a little concern about that style guard cutting into the plastic riggings. I admit I have some concern about that. And that, although it has full flex, so that might be a good master's weapon, although 110 is fairly pricey. And yeah, short people unite. So yes, I would, in your boat, I'm going to tell you, Christian is just the most amazing person to work with, to deal with. Um, I'm just looking at this because it makes me happy. Never mind the why, it just makes me happy. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. I just have to be careful doing searches, you know. But I really think if you could send him a picture, he has done custom work for me. That's how the Italian tactical side sword trainer was born. And I love, I mean, if Foxy were more into Dow-ish, I would say go with one of these. Of course, I cut the grip off to fit around my braces when I need to, and I'm going to do something different and kind of pretty to the grip on this one. I want to put some scales on it. Yes. But to give it a slightly different profile. But something like this with the 20 some odd inch, I want to say 22-inch blade would be wonderful for Foxy. And weapons this short, you can more easily train indoors during the off season. So really, the best thing I can say is look into that. But we're going here. We're going here. It is 9 o'clock already. So I'm going to look. Are there any final questions before we dock? Probably. Quite possibly. If put pictures up on the Historical Fencing Guild public group. Let me look at it, and tomorrow I'll be able to get to that and give you a better suggestion. I may see if I can get a hold of Sword Sage. He's a busy guy these days, but he might have good advice too. And as always, shoot him a message. He's a great guy. But before the stuff gets squirrely, I want to thank you guys for coming out. Huge shout out as always to Foxy and Thesis. It's great hearing from Frog G and Frying Feline. The cat in the kettle and the Peking moon. Anyway, and Johnny is a treat for the senses, as always. And of course, the amazing Cindy Kep, www.ckoepp.com. If you want to help, guys, the Patreon is scrolling right now. Okay. At the Historical Fencing Guild. Look for the white boot. It's real easy. And you can find my books at www.amazon.com/author/Nicholas Tuckert for the lovely. Oh, my copies are getting all beat up. That's okay. It's okay. The Fighting Axe and the Simple Sword. More stuff is in the works as my brain clears. So until then, guys, I'd like you, please be kind to yourselves and each other. All right. Do your drills. Spring is coming, friends. Perhaps the day where some or all of us will someday get together and meet up. Who knows? But until then, do your drills. Keep your guard up. And as always, friends, support your local sword master.